Hey guys, welcome to the Nick Bahe YouTube page. You know what you need to do. You need to subscribe, you need to ring the bell, you need to like the page, you need to leave a comment. I appreciate you. All right, well, we cheated. We have cheated on everybody here. We've told people that we were going to do these wine pods and we're going to open it right at the start of it. But I mean, basically the wine's gone. The wine's gone.
But it was a long day at work. It's a Monday.
You came in and it was just, I could feel it on you. You didn't want to wait. You wanted to open it right away. Like you came down and immediately just poured mine. So
it's been a long day. It's been a long day. I think a lot of people are feeling what I'm feeling, which is
it's been a long day for Bo Ruud.
It's been a long year, a long day.
Yeah.
And sometimes you got to pour the wine.
That's true. I'm a little nervous. I'm doing okay so far. Like I haven't drank in a month. I feel like my tolerance is low at this point.
When you have tolerance issues, what's the first thing?
Clothes. I'm a clothes come off kind of a guy, which is not what people want on this wine pod whatsoever. By the way, yes, if you're wondering, I'm in shorts underneath. It's like you come in like nice jeans and all that stuff, but I have shorts on, so this just people know what's going on.
I play the half and half game.
The half and half game is the best game in the world.
Business up top, party down low.
The party way down low. But I'm a
party,
little
more like slothy lounging.
Yeah, lazy down low is what it would be. But I'm a little nervous where like I feel like I'm at the point where a couple glasses of wine could get your boy a little croco tacoed, especially with. So I guess as I was kind of like mapping things out, I solicited a handful of Twitter questions. But do we want to do the serious stuff right away? Pseudo serious stuff before we get into like nonsense?
Serious, Nick, I'm always serious.
I don't think we want to be rockoed talking about like some serious things.
Wine's not. It's not.
Does it have any alcohol in it, or what's going on?
I don't think it does. But we're a couple glasses in it. Oh, it tastes great though.
People, the amount of people when you're going to do a beer pod, what do we want to do if we do a whiskey or a beer pod? How are we going to structure that?
If somebody comes with us with a great sponsorship, we'll let them determine
the terms of how we do this.
Potentially, if it's a good enough sponsorship.
Because I get tired of even your little sister has come like, guys, a bottle, just one between the two of you. She's like, each of you should do a bottle. Same thing, even with my cousin Mick. Shouts out to Mick Botner, Millard North, my man. But he's going to be like, you guys each need to do a bottle. I'm like, a bottle a person?
We got to be able to speak too, you know?
I mean, I got a career to worry about here. Like a bottle a person is quite a bit. So I just don't know. The good thing about a wine is a bottle of wine is an easy thing to split. I don't know if it's like, but a 6-pack 3 and 3 doesn't feel like that's going to get her done. Does it? Or would that be all right?
I think a 6-pack in like an hour would. Yeah.
6-pack 3 and 3. Maybe that's how we structure the beer pod.
I tell you, I think people need to come with us with
ideas,
sponsorship, and an idea.
Yeah. Whiskey.
How they want their beer or
consumed, right?
Yeah. How they want to present it.
I don't know, but
getting us lush and
getting us crocked. I mean, people just like, get hammered for us. Like, all right, you got it, sir.
We'll be removed from
for YouTube. From YouTube has removed this video due to incoherent nonsense about O'Doyle. But okay, serious stuff. And I mean, it's like, how serious is this going to be? Like, do you want to get into? I mean, it's signing day. Signing day takes. Give me your signing day biggest take. Russillo, go. Biggest signing day.
Where do we start? Okay, so it was a small class to begin with. Right?
Yes,
so this
I'm leaning heavy on you on this.
So I don't know that I've been as into recruiting this year as normally, but it was an odd year for Nebraska.
Extreme.
Right? We came off of a below average year last year, and our start was so bad with the loss to Illinois. And sort of the enthusiasm of the season just kind of drained from there, right? So it was going to be a small class anyway with just the rules with the 6th-year seniors and all the extra numbers from COVID. So it was a weird year in general. And with Nebraska's sort of struggles this year, it's just like they really it's almost like recruiting just kind of stopped during the year. And they made a nice little late run, which I think was they got some good players to finish this group out, but it is still a very small group. And it's pretty clear they're kind of waiting for the transfer portal, and they're waiting for maybe even some more JUCO ads to go from here. So maybe the weirdest recruiting class I've ever seen in terms of like such a small number and like no real. I don't know that we had one offensive lineman and one defensive lineman.
Yeah.
So if you can pull those,
I'm pulling her up. I'm pulling her up, baby. So there is there's a defensive tackle, Justin Jenkins, out of New Jersey.
That guy's actually the offensive lineman.
Oh, it says DT.
He's our only offensive line recruit.
I mean, I don't see there's a tight end, the Androff kid, but like I'm just on Rivals and
so the kind of the highlights from the class are Ernst Hausman from Columbus, who's kind of a stud. He's a stud Nebraska kid. He's kind of everything we are looking for in terms of recruiting. And he's really the highlight from Nebraska in terms of like the guys we got. Cause part of the narrative of this class is like who we didn't get.
Oh,
right?
Sure.
So you got 4 kids out of Omaha are the highest ranked kids in the state, all going somewhere else. So that's sort of the part of the story of this year is like not just who we got, but who we didn't get. And I think that's why this class is as small as it is, because that was sort of like, I mean, baked in. Usually you'd say those kids we'd be trying to get.
Yeah.
So that's part of this narrative, I think.
Well, let me back up. Like, I think so when I was on signing day and even the days leading up to it, there's always an element of every signing day in normal times of you get excited about a lot of these guys, but the reality is a lot of these guys aren't necessarily going to get on the field next year.
Yeah.
So when you take that school of thought into mind, combined with the context of the situation for Frost and next year, I found myself and it's nothing against any of the guys in this class. I've just found myself not all that interested and locked in on these guys because it kind of feels like, well, Nebraska's in win now mode.
Yeah.
And they need to get guys that can come in and make an impact right away. So the only way this class matters is if the other transfer portal guys come in, get her going, and by the time Frost is still here, by the time those guys can make an impact. So for me, I found myself, the reason I was not engaged is because of the context of the situation a little bit. Like, do you see anybody in here outside? The one thing I will say is Nebraska did sign, move over. I am hip. You have signed.
Hold on.
The coldest recruit of all time.
The coldest recruit I ever seen, Nick.
The coldest Crawford instantly becomes one of the 5 greatest names in Nebraska football history.
The coldest is because we had a group chat on
You had the great text to all of us because you could kind of just add duh and then insert any nickname you have with your friends.
And then this.
Like that's all it is. And so, but what a name.
The coldest.
Coldest.
This kid's mother did him a favor because it is maybe the coolest name I've heard in a long time. The coldest Crawford, I believe.
You cannot be the coldest Crawford and just be anybody. Like you got to be the real deal.
So Bub, I think, was telling me his nickname, or somebody was saying his nickname is like his name is the coldest,
but he's got another nickname.
And
you don't need a nickname.
Was something like to ever do it, like quote unquote to ever do it.
Oh, that is so good.
So I don't know how that works, but this guy already. Because think about this. We live in a world of Twitter and, like marketing and attention.
Yes.
So if you name your kid something that plays into like
something,
you can't ignore this person.
Right.
It helped me. This kid's going to make more NIL money than any other recruit because his name's the coldest.
The coldest Crawford. So he's the highlight of the class to me. Just because his name's off the chain.
His name's out, but he's actually probably the recruit that's probably the biggest get. He's an LSU decommit.
Right.
That Mickey Joseph went out and basically had. This kid came here for us. He never visited, Nick.
Oh, he never came? I figured he came as someone.
He basically said, Mickey, wherever you're going, I'm going.
Because he is, and So is he maybe the most like he's the coldest cat to ever do it? He's the coldest cat to ever do it. First of all, first and foremost, the coldest cat to ever do it. But does he have the best chance of getting on the field right away?
Of this class, I'm trying to think. Probably him or
Johnson. There's a running back. I'm just trying to think of like running backs.
The running back and the DBs. So you got to remember, we got three defensive back positions that got to be filled. Running back is an open book, and receiver. I mean, as much as we got Xavier and Omar Manning, there's another receiver spot. Like if you can play, you will get on the field. Yeah.
And then there was, it's kind of amazing how usually the attention goes. Richard Torres, like your attention usually goes to a quarterback and discussing a quarterback. Richard Torres, San Antonio, Texas, 6'5", put up pretty prolific numbers out of I think it's San Antonio.
Yeah.
QB. So we'll see.
Here's my take on him. Like apparently he's got a big arm.
Yeah. Is he kind of like hands off my Heine?
I think so. A little bit like Heine.
It's interesting how Smothers and Heine are very different. Seem like very different players to me.
Well, they are. Smothers is not like a big arm. He's a smaller, kind of more crafty speedster guy. And Heine's more of like the traditional
big, because big. And Torres is
big,
like
long strider. Yeah. And Torres, I don't know how mobile Torres is, but I think he's got a nice presence.
Right.
But what I don't know is like, I just don't know. He's kind of an like Frost even mentioned in his press conference. He's like an under the radar guy,
right?
Like somehow he didn't get a ton of attention and offers out of where he's from in San Antonio, but that's not necessarily a bad thing for us if he's that good. No. I just don't know. Like, I don't know that the competition he was playing was like some of those Texas schools,
right? Like Plano, like where Reds was at and all that stuff. I mean, because you look at his offer list, at least on Rivals. Kansas, other Power 5 offers: Kansas State, Utah, Washington State. That's it. So
and that's fine. To me, it's just more of a matter of like,
it's hard to assess.
He blew out his knee, so it's hard to. I mean, he's probably not going to be the guy this year anyway. Coming off that knee injury, to expect him to come win the job as a freshman coming off a knee injury, I'd say that's probably a lot to ask.
Right.
But is he a guy that can be a baller in a couple of years? I mean, apparently he's got like kind of he's got a little bit of swagger to him. He's kind of got that presence, they say. That's good. But to me, it's like, I just don't know what we're getting with him.
Okay. So let me skip to a Twitter question and then I'll circle back to something else. Chip, not my Uncle Chip, but Chip tweets at me because my Uncle Chip would not be on Twitter. He says, how concerned should I be that Nebraska hasn't gotten a quarterback in the portal yet? I'd say I'm concerned. I'm like each guy that comes off the board, I get a little concerned, I mean, because it's today. I mean, we're taping this. What is it? Today's Monday. I mean, you got the Rattler went to South Carolina, Dylan Gabriel, the UCF transfer, went to UCLA, Bo Nix went to Oregon, Miles Brennan entered the transfer portal and then returned back to LSU.
I think that was our guy that we were trying to get.
That's what it seemed like.
And so he went back to LSU. I think that was, in my mind, I think that was who we were trying to get.
The number one target, probably.
Yeah. And so now it's going to be a little bit more of a wait and see. So there's still going to be some movement after the bowl games.
I guess that's what I was going to ask you, the timeline of the portal.
Is there
going to be more guys in the portal?
Yes. So there's going to be bowl games and there's going to be more portal.
Okay.
And that's the part I guess I didn't realize. Like, is Auburn not going to a bowl game? Maybe they are.
I don't think they are.
But see,
no, they are, aren't they? I mean, they almost beat Bama. I mean, if you almost beat Bama, you got to be going over.
You got to win 5 games, right? 6 games. You got to win 6 games. You go to a bowl game. So I believe you can. Some of these guys are entering the portal early, even though their seasons might still be going.
So weird.
It's so weird. And then
they went 6-6
after the bowl games. There'll be more, and then Nick after spring ball, there will be more also.
I mean, so I guess that's it.
So for us, it is like, this is what they will say, quote unquote. But I think it is true. It's like, we're gonna find the right guy, but I think with a quarterback, you do got to find the right guy.
Yeah. I mean, I understand all that, and all that's probably true. And like, you never know who eventually is going to become available. But so in that regard, like, you can't freak out because like who's ever in the portal now, this isn't necessarily who it's going to be. This is it.
No, it's not it.
Like, it's not like there's last call. It's not they're going to like turn on the lights and be like, last call for quarterbacks in the portal.
He's hot. No, she's
excuse me. Who, you were in a Power 5? Did you play? You just got in one game?
You need a ride home?
How are you? Scott Frost.
You need a ride home? I mean, the guys are going back.
I need a drink. I know the bartender. He doesn't matter that I know. No,
we're going back to Memorial Stadium. We're going to have a couple of beers. The guys are going to be playing beer pong. If you want to come and hang out, I know you don't know us, but we're not weirdos. We're not weirdos. Last call for quarterback.
Last call. Transfer portal quarterback.
Ding, 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 ding. Last call for quarterbacks. Bars closing.
You want to come back to Memorial Stadium? No pressure. We're just throwing a party at after hours at Memorial Stadium. It'll be cool. It'll be fine.
Are you?
Yeah.
Are
you got a transfer portal? Who's that? That's a kicker?
What's your major? I mean,
okay, come on. You can come too. That's fine. But that's not. It's not necessarily last call for quarterbacks right now.
No,
there's after hours.
There's after hours. There's second semester. Nick, second semester. You might have a class.
There's mimosas in the morning. There's bottomless mimosas in the morning. There's going to be numerous opportunities to get
Think
you
about it. You could talk to them
QB.
after class, second semester. Maybe they'd want to watch a movie.
Oh my God. Whew, boy, that was pretty good. Okay, I gotta take it down a notch.
Last call for quarterback.
I mean, that's what it feels like, though, with all these people going off the board.
Yeah,
it's like,
say that, like, if there was a guy that we wanted in the first wave, we either missed him or we didn't find the person we wanted. So the second wave will be after bowl games, and then they'll be after spring ball. So it's not over, but it's definitely like the first wave is kind of with Rattler, with Bo Nix, with
Dylan Gabriel,
with
dudes. I mean,
with those dudes going, those are the kid.
How about that kid? Kid goes to Ohio State, signs $1 million NIL deal with an autograph company, doesn't play a single down at Ohio State because he reclassified early, transfers, goes to Texas and got probably a bunch of money from Texas. Like,
what's weird though is that
it's quite the situation.
When you like. He went early to sign. Was he expecting to play?
I don't know. I never understood that situation. I don't know. That's the problem too, is no one understands. We're trying to figure out if it is last call, is it not? If you're another, you're like, when do the bars even close here? They close at 1 or at 2? Like, that's how it feels like in the portal. Like, when
Nick,
no one knows.
So this is the part.
Are we in Vegas and it just goes all night?
Well, this is what's going to happen, Nick, and this is why this is new. This portal, like, people are figuring it out as they go.
Right.
There's going to be hundreds of kids that are not going to have a team.
That's the thing that's unbelievable.
And to me, it's like, I call it like the market correction.
Right.
Like, this is a new market and people are going, woo, like this. And then they're going to find out, like, here comes the crash. Like, everybody's going in the portal. Like, if you're a player, I'm going to go get mine. I'm not going to be like, stick it out. A lot of these kids are going to end up without a team,
which is crazy. It's like, imagine being on scholarship at a Power 5 school or at even like a MAC school, and you enter the portal and your ass doesn't get picked up.
I mean, like,
but that's the reality of the deal.
So the dude from LSU entered the portal. The quarterback comes back. We had Phildarius Payne enter the portal. He's our pass rusher. He came back,
and I loved. He made an announcement that he's coming back.
I'm coming back.
Well, and even Miles Brennan. And I get that it's different when there's a coaching change and come back, but he posted like the scene from Wolf of Wall Street, where Leonard's he was like, I'm not fucking leaving. This? I'm not fucking leaving. And it's like, and I'm staying right here. And so that was his announcement. But it's just weird where like you now can enter the portal.
Imagine your girlfriend being like, I'm going to break up with you. And then she comes back. I've decided I'm staying with you.
I'm not going to leave it. I'm living with you.
I'm staying with you, dude.
But that's where we're at right now. So to answer Chip's question,
it's insane to me.
I don't know.
Nick, I don't know what's going on.
I don't either. I don't either. But there we go. So is there anything else with signing day? I mean, we got Decoldest in that thing.
Decoldest. So here's what I like. So here's a couple of late signees that I actually like. So there's a kid out of, I believe,
I'll tell you where
Mississippi. Is it Malcolm Hartzog? My mind.
Yeah, defensive back, Bassfield, Mississippi, 5'10", 165. You like him?
So this is like guy? Well, here's what I like about him. This guy he's basically one of those kids that just got overlooked.
Okay,
didn't get recruited. He wins Mr. Football for Mississippi.
I like it.
And even though it's like he was a little bit smaller school, like he's just a kid that was a baller. Like everybody was talking about him, right? And then he went to like a one of those like
a camp,
one of those bowl games you play in high school.
Oh yeah.
One of those I don't even know.
It's not the Shrine Bowl. People in Nebraska are like.
Nebraska has Shrine Bowl.
Everybody Shrine Bowl here.
Shriners Unite.
Yeah, but okay, so he went to
and
won the Mississippi version of the Shrine Bowl.
Won like he's a guy that like is
okay.
He's undersized, he's undervalued, and he's a player, right?
Okay.
And same way with this guy from Minnesota, we got the running back.
Yeah.
He won Mr. Football for Minnesota.
Emmett Johnson.
Yeah. So to me, it's like, okay, if you're gonna go down making or missing with recruits, go down with the guys that are named Mr. Football
like if
in your states.
Right.
Because you know what? That means it has to be consensus. Everybody's seen these people play and they say,
and they're saying
that's the best guy in the state.
Right.
Right. So maybe they're measurables. They're not tall enough. They're not
right.
Their length. They're the things that get you
but
on
in terms of the
season. Things that get you on the Aiden Hutchinson poster.
Oh, yeah.
They might not have that.
Right.
But they are the best football players in their state.
Based on what they did on the field that season, which is ultimately, let's not get crazy, that's still what matters.
And so for Nebraska to get these two guys, plus the coldest.
They got the coldest cat in the game.
The coldest cat in the game.
Yes.
To me, is a good signing, just in the sense of like, we're getting football players. To me, those are football players because if you're Mr. Football in the state, I'd rather miss with you.
I agree. It's a good point.
Miss with
I'm with that.
The guy that wasn't good that we think, well, maybe he like
right.
So
well, the other thing too, we are obligated. It is our duty to always give a shout out to any knight that's in the class. Jake Applegate. Shouts out to him. Yep. I mean, so we are going to be Team Jake from.
And I like him because he's going to play outside linebacker.
Yep.
He's tall. He's long. He needs to go in that weight room for 2 years and just, eat meat. Do squats and he'll be fine.
Oh yeah.
But that dude, what I like about him though is he played receiver on offense. He's got skills. Like he
can run.
He can catch. Like he made it on I think it was NFL Primetime. You got Moss segment
where it was like somebody.
He mossed some dude. He got on the net. Like he's got enough of those type of skills that I like dudes that if they play defense, they still know how to
totally.
They got game, right?
Okay, so I was not going to be able to sleep at night if we did not.
I'm glad you did that. So Houseman, Jake Applegate. We talked about Richard Torres, the two new signees and Decoldest. I think that's probably a good. That's probably a good summation of our class.
There we go. Okay, that was the first thing I wanted to talk about before we get to other things. Can I let you into my mind and because we talked about this a little bit with the official word that O'Doyle is leaving Nib High. He's living Nib High. O'Doyle rules is leaving. Cam Jurgens is leaving.
That's a blow.
What hurts, here's the thing. I was high on, you and I were pretty high on this team this year and thought they had a chance to win 8-9 games, which in all reality, they were closer to that than you think. Mm-hmm. But one of the reasons we was because they were returning a lot of their best players. I guess the second question I wrote down is how concerned with or how big of a deal is it the fact that Nebraska is losing 80% of their best players? Yeah. You're losing O'Doyle, Austin Allen, Snacks, Adrian Martinez, JoJo Doman, Cam Taylor-Britt, you're then obviously the DBs that were balling. I'm concerned. I'm not gonna poo-poo that. And I get it's hypocritical at times too, because there are times we sit here and poo-poo the overall talent level, need more talent. Yeah. But I don't know. I mean, I haven't been enamored with all those guys walking out the door.
So it's hard because we would take them all back. We would. We need just more talent, more depth. O'Doyle, obviously, we would want O'Doyle. So O'Doyle rules.
I'm all in on O'Doyle.
So the only thing, the argument you could have to that though is like, well, we didn't win with them.
That's exactly right.
So as much as I know Cam Jurgens is going to get drafted. I think if he would have came back, he could be like a second round draft pick. I think he's that kind of like physical talent, but his game, like the bad snaps for a couple of years, he kind of he found a way to have bad penalties, even though like I didn't always agree with him. I like his game.
At the end of the day, it's against the rules to O'Doyle someone in certain ways.
He O'Doyled the nerds when he had to O'Doyle the nerds.
And like that's frowned upon at times.
And sometimes the refs say, O'Doyle, I think your whole family's about to go down. And they throw that flag at him. And that's what happened. But
no, you're saying even like they didn't win.
JoJo had a great year. We're gonna miss JoJo, but I mean Adrian, Cam Taylor, Britt, like Austin Allen. We're gonna miss Austin Allen, but like we couldn't win.
Right.
Still.
That's the counter to it.
To me, it's like, okay, like yes, we're losing our better players, we're losing snacks, but in the end, it's like, well,
we
got to win. Yeah, we got to win.
That's the counter to it.
So in the end, like, you see a new group of players, you give them a full season. Like, will we win more games with the new group than the old group?
Okay. With that in mind, before we get to all Twitter questions, then I have something about Harry and Mauve that we're going to get into. The Wet Bandits. But are we going to cash this thing? Give me Decoldest Crawford on this thing here. With that in mind, we'll do way too early. Most important returning Husker that's currently on the roster. I wrote down a few. Our boy Luke Reimer. You could even throw Nick Henrich in that thing. Teddy Prohaska. Caleb Tanner, just because you need some dude to. No. You're not drinking the Caleb Tanner Kool-Aid.
No, he's not.
Do you want to throw Betts Manning in there? We could get our Fedoni game going a little bit.
I think you hit the linebackers and Teddy Prohaska. I think Prohaska is, if he gets healthy, he will be the most reliable force on our offensive side of the ball right now. We saw one or two games from him.
Was it an ACL? I can't remember what it.
He had surgery. They didn't say what it was.
I don't think they ever.
Pick your CL.
It's MCL, ACL, PCL, one of those things. His CL went down.
But he was the one guy. As soon as he got in the field, everybody went, this guy's got a future. This guy is the guy that we've been waiting for at a tackle position, especially left tackle. So I think if Prohaska can get right quickly, he'll be at
a crucial position too. At the left tackle spot, it's a huge spot.
And I would say Austin Allen leaving is a huge hit, except for the fact that we have Vokalek and Fedoni, which I really think like those two guys combined can replace that productivity. I really love Austin Allen, but those two guys I think could be
you do have like the number one tight end in the country on your roster from last year's
Austin Allen was the first team All Big Ten. I mean, that's impressive.
That's a big deal.
It's a big deal. But I think Fedoni and could be better. And Vokalek, our boy from Siberia.
Vokalek. My friend Austin Allen, leave me. But I got new best friend. His name Fedoni. Fedoni get the bad knee. He fix it and he run faster.
Vokalek, what do you think you're going to do this year?
Oh, I think I block and pancake people, and at times they think it's a run, but it is not. I slip out and I catch the ball.
My God.
That's the plan with Vokalek. Sean Beckton coaching me. I got new offense coach. His name Whipple. He whip us. But I wrote down Teddy. The first names I wrote down were Teddy Prohaska, Reimer.
Yeah. Reimer and Henrich are our guys on defense. And then Ty Robinson on the line.
Jason Peter Jr.
What
are the chances they're together, like in Jason's basement on beanbags? Like,
it's like, let me tell you
something, Ty.
This is a little band. It's called Anthrax. We're going to shave our heads, and we're going to do some breaking. That's all I can tell you about this afternoon.
Ty, get over here. We're watching Rambo. We're listening to Guns N' Roses. And we're going to punch each other in the face until someone quits. Newsflash, it'll be you. Okay, so Jason Peter Jr.
It's gonna be you.
Bad news for you, Christians in town. We're gonna kick your ass. Get your ass over here, Ty.
Training starts today.
So, but I should have put Jason Peter Jr. on there. Is that his official name, yeah. Jason Peter Jr.? Okay, but you got Teddy P, Reimer, Teddy Pendergrass,
Jason Peter Jr. and
Reimer,
yeah,
and then Fedoni.
Yeah.
Okay, we good?
I think that's about right.
Teddy Pendergrass,
Teddy P.
Shout out to Teddy P. Okay, let's go to some Twitter questions.
Oh,
all
man.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, get it together. All right. So these Twitter questions, I'm going to go back and forth between some stupid ones. All right, here we go.
Oh,
okay, Jake wants to know favorite line or scene from Christmas Vacation. The movie National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Oh, that's it. I mean, I was watching part of it 2 nights ago.
Yes.
Oh, that's a tough one.
You want me to go first?
Go for it, yeah.
To me, the scene that always makes me laugh on Christmas Eve at dinner when Clark tells the kids that he heard that they've seen Santa's sleigh. Because then he goes, serious, Clark?
Serious, Clark? That's a good one.
That line is so perfect.
Serious, Clark?
You serious, Clark? That one gets me every time. And then I'm always like Mr. Sappy. I always enjoy when he gets stuck in the attic and has to watch old movies.
Oh, that's so good. They play that.
Yes.
Did they play Ray Charles?
Yes. I thought it was Ray.
They just like it's
so good.
He's got the mittens on. He's
cold and he's just
scarf
watching it, but he's warmed by the videos. It's a great scene.
So I was watching this with my wife, and there's the scene where Clark's in the mall and he's at the lingerie counter, and the girl comes up and he's fumbling through it like it's a bit nipply.
So good.
And then she's showing me, she goes, you can't see the line. And then he looks at Russ and he says, can't see the line, can you, Russ? He goes, nope. I don't know why I laugh so. It's like the married guy.
Yes.
Just like,
no, I know that was the three I wrote. The three in my mind were the you serious Clark, then the sappy scene in the attic, and then the lingerie scene in the mall is fantastic.
The other underrated part of that movie is, and I have a kid now, so I'm out of this world. But when I didn't have a kid, me and Courtney would watch, because all our friends and everybody had kids. Right. Everybody's in that world, and we didn't. And then when the neighbors came on, and they're like, I don't know, Margot.
Yes,
come on, like the yuppie. We always called so we always felt like we were the yuppies,
right?
Until you have kids, then you're Clark.
And then you're out of that world.
Then you're Clark.
You instantly become Clark,
and you become Clark,
right?
And you want to do the family stuff,
right?
But when you're not, you're the neighbors.
That's right.
So we were the neighbors.
You were the neighbors, but you're not anymore. Shouts out to Bell. Okay. Nick as best New Year's Eve story. To me, it's got to be Bo Ruud kissing a chick in 8th grade.
Nick, you were there.
I was there. You were there. It was in the hall. Was it planned? How did I know to get into the hall?
You were just
get a front row.
Nick, you were on your game. You knew.
I went in the hall and was like, all right, smooch time.
first kiss, I'll say I was pretty happy about that.
Yeah. So is that your, I don't really have any other memory. I don't feel like, oddly enough, I don't remember any other great. I mean, I know I partied on New Year's Eve and did different things, but I can't remember any other amazing.
I remember a good one. We were at the Red 9, which used to be P.O. Pears.
Yep.
D-Funk was playing. We danced. We had a great time. It was a great party.
Yes.
And then somebody got stabbed.
Oh, that's
right after
a bad
midnight,
deal.
and everybody had to clear out.
Yeah,
the
a good stabbing will derail a New Year's Eve.
They'll ruin a night.
That will. But I guess you and I share both of our best New Year's Eve story involves you kissing a chicken. It was 8th grade, right?
8th grade.
8th grade. Shouts out. Okay, there's that. Spencer asks 3-part. Said best Christmas movie, best Christmas song, and is getting someone a gift card a sign of packing it in. I'll start with the gift card. I mean, like, I guess so, but like, it's still effort. It's still like you had to think about that person for long enough to get a card.
You care enough that you did something, but you didn't care enough to
take it to the next step.
Yeah. So I'm fine with a gift card. It's better than a bad gift, but it's not as good as somebody who like thought it through, but that's not for everybody.
But here's the thing. There's a difference between a gift card. If it's like one of those, like, just, what do they have, like a Visa $100 card.
Here's
that is packing it in.
Yeah. So I'll say that if you just put $100 in a thing and said, that's your car, I'll take it.
I'll take $100 every day of the week.
I'm not mad at it, but that means you just said, I gave up, not even mean like, hey, here's
some thought.
Here's a gift card to Casa Bovina.
Right. Like, I know this is you.
You want to go eat here.
I know you love whatever. Here's this. That is definitely not packing it in.
Yeah.
So I think there are varying degrees of what card. If someone's just getting you, hey, here's Visa, $100.
If it's a gift card to a place you go.
Right. That's not
packing it in.
I'm with
this. If it's just like Visa dollars or $100 bill, then you're packing it in and you're exchanging money for the exchange of money.
I totally agree. I'm glad. Move. Best Christmas movie. Mine's Home Alone.
I would say the thing that makes me feel most Christmas-y is Christmas Story.
It's hard to argue with that.
So Christmas Story, I watch every, it's on 24
on the marathon.
Hours. I watch it 3 or 4 times. But Christmas Vacation, Home Alone, and of recent, It's a Wonderful Life has made its way into my playlist.
I need to.
Never seen it?
No.
Oh, it's Nick. Quotable. It's quotable as all get out. And it's old. It's 1946.
Is that the bell rings and Angel gets its wings?
Yes, from Christmas Vacation.
That's true. But
Nick, it's actually a great movie and it's super watchable.
Okay. I need to do that.
It's just funny. It's like truthfully like laughable.
Okay. But I'm still going Home Alone.
Home Alone's up there. Home Alone's great.
Best Christmas song. I have a lot of Christmas songs I like, but I don't think there's just one that stands above the rest. Is there one that stands up? I'm curious. You seem like, I feel like I wrote down 1, 2, 3, 4 songs. I feel like any song I were to throw out, you would just
throw it. You would
be like the Nebraska volleyball team and just block it right back in my face.
Those Wisconsin's
girls at the line.
They grow them 6'9" at a time.
God, I mean,
well, Nick,
I'm going to finish over the rim.
I'm going to the net. You bring them to me.
The first one is not really my vote, but I wrote down Christmas in Hollis, Queens, Run DMC, but that's not really my vote.
That doesn't make top 20.
Well, how dare you? On behalf of New York and Run DMC, Rev Run, and all those guys. But I wrote down that in no particular. I wrote down "Let It Snow," not like Brian McKnight. No. Where the weather outside is frightful, where the fire is so delightful.
Yeah.
Since there's no place to go.
No, it doesn't make top 5.
See, you just point. All right.
Point Wisconsin.
You won.
Point
okay.
Wisconsin.
All right. What about Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas?
That is pretty good.
Did I just get one in?
We'll give you a point. Point. Okay. Keep them coming. Point or block.
Rocking around the Christmas tree. Have a happy. What do you think of that?
We're gonna call that draw.
We're going
draw. Is that Volleyball, they have draw.
I don't think that's a thing. I don't think that's a thing.
Replay.
Well, I wish I'd have wrote down more. I mean, I'm not like, Jingle Bells?
No.
Frosty the Snowman?
No. I think
Wham!
Do they know it's Christmas?
This Christmas, last Christmas, I gave you my heart. Is it that for you?
Not bad. That's not bad, but not top 5.
That doesn't evoke Christmas for me. What do
I
you
want to
like?
say, my memory might be wrong, but I want to say the like White Christmas, like I'm dreaming.
Kevin McAllister when he's
is like the most downloaded song or the most listened to song, like one of the most of all time or something. I don't know if it's that or the slower version of it.
Yeah,
that's the upbeat there. So I think White Christmas is up there. I think I always like the song.
What about It's the most wonderful time of the year?
That's pretty. I mean, actually, that's pretty good. Gosh, what else
there's so many of them. What about? Mariah Carey.
So Mariah, in terms of modern songs, Mariah Carey's is, I think, of the last 20 years, or 30 years. Fuck, we're getting old.
I know.
Hers is up there as like one of the best. So,
she's so slept on. I love Mariah Carey, but
this I always love that song. This Christmas,
yes,
Donny Hathaway. So that was a good.
Okay, I don't know what we really solved there, but. There's not, but I guess what I'm saying is
we got to
draw. But I think that's the thing is I don't think there's a specific Christmas song that stands above the rest to me.
There are Christmas songs for every mood. And so my wife is a Christmas song.
Oh, that doesn't surprise me.
She loves Christmas songs, right? So I have to put her on a probation.
She's on like a pitch count before you got to like.
I had to. So she used to listen to Christmas music dang near all year. And I finally said, no, Black Friday. So once
you got to get through Thanksgiving,
ends, you can start playing Christmas. So we've been,
is it going on in your house? Like,
yeah. So we get a full month of it. But I had to block it because she'd play it in July. And I'd be like, no, we're not listening to this.
I will say this. I was calling Arizona at Illinois, and I was on the first flight out of Applegate flying to Chicago. We had a maintenance issue and I was delayed for hours and hours and hours. Like I was at Applegate for 6 hours until they canceled the flight and I was doing another one. But the reason I bring that up is I swear to God, on the music inside Applegate, they had the Home Alone. I swear someone just put on the Home Alone soundtrack. And it has a lot of classic Christmas songs on it, and it kept me from like getting, because like airport anger is like, you can get real angry for no reason.
Airport and airplane anger.
Yeah, you're just mad. But the Christmas music of Home Alone got me feeling like I was like, this is good. I'm okay.
And Home Alone brings you back to when you're like 8.
Yes,
and that's what's so great.
Because the original Home Alone is 1990.
91.
90. So we were basically Kevin McAllister.
Yeah, the young kid.
That's why, because Eddie asks, and he goes, Christmas movie fantasy football draft, all Christmas movies. Who's your quarterback, running back, wide receiver, and defense? You and I aren't really fantasy guys, so I think we can just give our top 4. We already went into them a little bit. I'm Home Alone, Christmas Vacation, A Christmas Story, and then I love Bill Murray, Scrooged. That gets me like in a Christmassy mood.
So Bill Murray, I like Bill. I love anything Bill Murray, but to be top 5, that means you have to beat out Christmas Story,
Wonderful Life.
It's a Wonderful Life.
Home Alone.
Home Alone.
Christmas Vacation.
Christmas Vacation.
Like, are you an Elf guy? I mean, Elf's funny, but I'm not
top 5. Not top 5. And Scrooge to me doesn't make top 5. What else fits in the top 5?
Are you like a animated Grinch guy?
No.
Jim Carrey Grinch guy?
No, I just finally watched that, so it's tough. But that's really hard. That's hard. I have to think about that.
Yeah, I mean, like there's that, because you have what's the Billy Bob Thornton one? Bad Santa. but that's not really one for me.
No. I mean, that hasn't.
So what's your fourth then? Okay, so you have Christmas Story, Christmas Vacation, Home Alone, Wonderful Life. Those are your Mount Rushmore.
Those are the 4. And then what am I forgetting here? I'm blanking on something.
I don't. You think you're missing a classic?
Yeah, I'm trying to. Just type in
top 10 Christmas movies. I mean, I don't know if you're really missing much here, bro.
Give me some that I haven't seen here.
I mean, people are the Die Hard, but that's not.
That's interesting. People still like
that debate. I feel like has become like a tongue-in-cheek. Like no one's
of an action movie. It's too much of an action movie. It's not a Christmas. I can appreciate. I love Die Hard, but like I just think that's a bad categorizing of a movie.
It's not a Christmas movie.
It's the greatest maybe action movie ever.
Right.
But don't try to make it the best Christmas movie ever.
Yeah, because just because you would say, I don't think it's a Christmas movie, like I think it's a terrific movie, but it doesn't mean it's a Christmas movie.
It's an action movie.
Yeah, it's not even close to a Christmas movie.
Yeah, and that's where.
Well, it's a Wonderful Life. There's another one that's old.
White Christmas. It's white. That's where the Bing Crosby sings White Christmas. So that's one my wife, she watches sometimes. That doesn't make my top 5, but that's a classic.
Okay.
Because that's where the White Christmas song comes from. What do we forget?
I feel like for some reason Google is for the first time ever like letting me down.
Google's like, we don't have information.
Like, I don't know what the Santa Claus, Night Before Christmas, Christmas with the Cranks, It's a Wonderful Life, Polar Express. I mean, Home Alone 2. I'd throw Home Alone 2 in that dang dog. Team Home Alone, Elf, Bad Santa, Miracle on 34th Street. Not bad. Jingle All the Way. You think you're missing one, huh? You think there's one that you are really
that is in my life?
The Santa Claus, It's a Wonderful Life, Polar Express, Love Actually. Those were the top 30 on IMDb.
To me, I think there's 4 that stand out above the rest, and the 5th is I just don't have an answer that I believe in.
That's
right
fine.
now.
That's fine. We can only go 4. We'll go 4.
We'll go Rushmore type of.
There we go. Okay, sticking it because before we transition to some other stuff, since we're already talking movies, I wrote this down. I want a in-depth thought because I watched it again the other day. But the Wet Bandits, Harry and Marv. Who got it worse? I wrote down all of from what I remember, and if I'm missing something,
Home Alone 1.
Home Alone 1. Home Alone 2 is ridiculous. Like Marv gets electrocuted. They're getting bricks to the skull.
Okay, so
I'm going Home Alone 1.
My gut says Marv got it worse because he stepped on the nail.
It's a bad one.
Oh,
so so let's talk about Marv's injuries. Marv's got the nail in the foot.
He fell on the ice a bunch.
Both Harry and Marv fell. Now, Marv's fall was worse because I think he fell down the stairs. Harry just fell back and hit his head.
Okay, that's right. Marv's downstairs in the basement.
Downstairs in the basement. He got a iron to the face.
Oh, and that hurts so bad.
He got
nail.
He got a nail in the foot. He also got tar all over his feet, which is just never fun.
So he's shoeless with nail through the foot.
Tar.
He goes upstairs.
He gets ornaments on bare feet. Remember, he gets in that's not fun.
Yeah.
He also, if you remember, he got a BB gun to the face.
Oh, yeah.
He went in the doggy door. He went in the doggy door and got a.
But Harry got one to the nuts.
Harry got to the nuts, which I'd rather get a. Oh! I'm not so sure I wouldn't rather.
Yeah.
He also got the emotional trauma of a tarantula on his chest.
And this was one of my favorites. I always said this. My sister always died laughing that I would say Marv's scream was one of my favorite moments in cinema history.
Yes.
I said this for years.
The tarantula scene.
The tarantula put in your face. It's one of my favorite moments in the history of movies, period.
Right.
I loved it. And what I found out later, my sister sent me this link. The scream is like dubbed over. So they did some sort of like special like overdub scream because it is the scream.
Because the scream's too perfect.
The scream is the scream of all screams.
Yes.
And it blew my mind that was the case, but still it's like one of my favorite moments in all of cinema.
So he gets
the
tarantula on the face.
And he screams.
Well, no, that was Harry, I guess.
No,
Marv got it on the face. They each got a shovel to the face by the neighbor that saves the day. Spoiler alert for everybody that has not seen Home Alone. But
Harry gets tarred and he gets feathered. He gets feathered. He gets the hot hand on the door.
Harry gets the he gets, to me, the ultimate. I thought the funniest moment and maybe the worst one is the blowtorch to the head.
Was the blowtorch the first and the second one? That's both.
The look on his face when he opens the door.
But wait, was that the first one too?
Yeah, well, he got a blowtorch.
Both of them,
yeah, he got a blowtorch, and he had to go. He dove and he had to get his head.
The second one is where he dove his head in the toilet.
Wait, no, he dove his head in the snow.
Okay, first one's the snow. Second one, he puts his head in the toilet, and the toilet blows up because that was something else. So I'm trying to remember the difference between the first two.
They each fell on micro machines and slipped and fell.
And then
Harry got a crowbar to the chest because of the scream. BB gun to the groin, burned hand, and they each got a paint can to the head.
Yeah. I think Marv got it worse. He got the nail.
You think the nail's worse?
And here's another thought too. The bottom of your feet have more nerve endings than anything in your body. And Marv got his socks off. He stepped on a nail and then bare feet stepped on the bare.
And it's the dead of winter in Chicago. It's cold outside.
Cold. Oh, I mean, so he's walking on those feet that are torn up, and he got the iron to the head. I mean,
it's a great scene when they finally meet in the house and they're like, Harry, why are you dressed like a chicken? Why'd you take your shoes off? What a great, this is a great man. Chicken. What an interesting, I wish I could have been like, they're reading that script. Like, what an interesting part for both those guys to get. Because on paper, in the script, Home Alone doesn't work. Now, I shouldn't say doesn't work. You wouldn't anticipate it being the classic that it is.
Well, so first of all, it's the right person. So John Hughes brought the thing together, and John Hughes was, he's Breakfast Club, Weird
all those
Science,
80s,
Pretty in Pink. He just Uncle Buck.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just had a moment where everything he did was great. He brought that film together, and I mean, but you got Pesci and you got Daniel Stern. Those are great. Those guys are the best actors you could have got for that. And then Culkin
couldn't have been better. Yeah. Like you could not have got a better dude to play Kevin McAllister.
I mean, he was like 6 and he was like hitting lines.
Incredible.
So I mean, the script, I mean, but it was I think to me, it's like the people that, like, in the end, I always go like, I don't care what the script is. You give me Spielberg or Scorsese or John Hughes, they're going to make good movies.
But it's just interesting for Joe Pesci, who ends up like, because I'm thinking, like, how many years after I'm looking at Joe Pesci's IMDb, like how many years, he does.
Goodfellas is like the same year.
That's what I was trying to wonder, like if he eventually went out and, because that's an interesting transition for him,
Great. It's probably his most popular movie ever.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
But it's such a great movie, but it couldn't work coming out today because the power lines go down. And the scene that I watched it the other night, the scene that still sticks out is She gets a hold of the cops. They pass her back and forth between 2 different cops. And okay, we'll send a car out to take a look. So the cop goes up to the house. He knocks a couple times and he says, ain't nobody here. Ain't nobody home.
And that's it.
And it's over. And there's no neighbors they can get a hold of. There's like, today this is solved before they get.
It is it becomes dated.
Like you're in the plane and 10 minutes later, they would have.
Well, they can't even scan your ticket. Yeah. Like, I mean, well, I guess it's more so that like how Kevin got on the flight to New York and 2 nowadays would never happen. That couldn't happen.
But just the communication in one were like, well, you just called somebody and
they go over to the house and
it wouldn't be the cop leaving after 5 minutes. It would be like you'd be in communication, like, no, the kid's there.
The thing I also never understood also, and maybe this was just different back in the day, maybe was every rental car unavailable where Kevin's mom had to get on with the Polka brothers to ride in the van. Like she couldn't, it's like, hey, I can't, if you're going to Chicago, I'll give you a ride.
John Candy, so underrated. I don't know why is John Candy as good as he was?
I don't know. Cause I don't know if there's a defining thing with him.
John Candy was so amazing. And I don't exactly know why.
I don't either.
Except for that he was.
Yes. Because he was good in that small little role.
He said
he was great.
He said, we're the Kenosha Kickers. We're big in,
Man, you don't know us?
Yeah, we're the Kenosha Kickers. Polka. Tahiki polka. And he's like, oh, but Rusty, he doesn't even know his kid.
He doesn't know his kid. He's like, I led my kid at a funeral parlor. He was there all day.
The guy's got like 3 scenes and they're
great.
You remember everything.
But everything about that makes no sense how Kevin's mom just like there was no way for her,
no flights, no nothing,
no car, like,
and you can't call anybody to just go over
and get Kevin.
You don't have one friend
in Chicago that can go grab Kevin. None.
Go over there, knock on the door, break the door in, go. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the part that's amazing.
The other thing, I saw this on the internet one time, and I checked it and watching the movie. The pizza scene, one of the opening scenes of the movie, when there's the whole hubbub because Buzz eats all the cheese pizza and acts like he's going to throw it up, which is great. It's just classic brother stuff, right? and there's the fight. He goes, hold on. Oh, Kevin's coming up.
He says, grab a plate. Grab a plate.
So there's the little brawl between Kevin and Buzz, and they spill the Pepsi everywhere and all that. As they're cleaning that up, the napkins grab. You see one plane ticket.
Yes,
it's Kevin's plane ticket that gets thrown in the garbage. That's how they didn't even catch that there wasn't Kevin's plane ticket.
So somebody actually saw that it said Kevin on it?
I saw. Well, you can see it's one. Like you can see all the tickets.
Yeah.
You could see it. And so for everybody that are going to watch this movie, in that first scene when someone's might be Kevin's dad or someone's cleaning something up quick and they throw it away.
Scene,
you can see one plane ticket get thrown away and it's Kevin's.
Well, and they stick tickets in the microwave. I remember hearing that. I was like, oh yeah, and they microwave some of the tickets, which is odd.
Yes,
that was an odd way to warm the tickets.
You can check it. You can check it in there. When I saw it, oh yeah. Also, LeBron one time tweeted, what did Kevin McAllister's dad do for a living that he was able to fly everybody to Paris? They're in first class.
Let me just tell you something. Kevin McAllister's dad was making freaking bank. Because that house is amazing.
Incredible.
They're flying everybody to Paris, and 4 of them are first class. When you find out a first class ticket is
there a direct flight from Chicago to Paris, by the way, too?
There could be, yeah.
That's what I figured, because they're you would assume a layover where they'd have caught it.
It's a couple $1,000 to fly first class. I don't care what year it was.
But how about that? How about Kevin McAllister's dad? I'd like to know his salary and what he was doing.
What was he doing?
I don't know. He has some dough, though, right? Some serious dough. But it's a movie that on paper doesn't work, and it still doesn't really work, but it's just great.
It works so well.
It works perfectly well. It works
well in 1990. You couldn't even try to do it now.
No, I mean, you just couldn't do it, but it's just it works now. It completely works.
So good.
That's pretty good. I mean, I have some year in review stuff, but I mean,
We need another wine pod is what we need.
Do we need to stop? And then we'll do some more like maybe New Year's, like year in review type things as we just talk it out live on the pod.
Yeah, you know what? It actually is looking to me like it might be last call anyway.
So. Should we get a transfer portal quarterback? Well, hold on now.
Hold
on.
We
got after hours.
After hours at our place? You're welcome. If you need a ride.
Quarterback's coming.
If you need a ride.
Coming after hours. You're going to come. Okay.
A Huda Media Production.